What are the top 5 trending ETFs with BetaShares at the moment?
Yeah, so I think technology is the first thing I'll talk about. So we have a NASDAQ 100 ETF, which trades on the ASX under the code NDQ for NASDAQ. NASDAQ 100 is, as you may know, the largest 100 companies trading on the NASDAQ stock exchange. That includes companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, Tesla, Netflix, basically things that every one of us use every day of our lives. That has been a very popular exposure. There's over $300 million in that fund, and the performance, if we take it back from April to the last 12 months, has been around about 20% a year. So that's been super popular. We call it, the new economy, basically investing in the new economy. And the second one on the technology theme is cybersecurity. We have a fund called HACK, H-A-C-K, quite easy to remember. It gives you exposure to the companies that are leading the battle in the fight against cybercrime. I mean, cybercrime is obviously a hugely growing area. Quite hard to invest in that theme without an ETF, but with this ETF, you invest in the largest global leaders in cybersecurity. Not only the large names that you wouldn't have heard of like Cisco or Symantec, but some small companies that you wouldn't have heard of like a FireEye or a CyberArk. And again, that's been an incredibly well-performing ETF, also around about 20% return over the last 12 months. So those are the first two. The third one I'd mention is hybrids. Investors in Australia have liked hybrids for a long time. There's around about $60 billion invested in hybrids in Australia, largely by mums and dads, self-managed super funds and mums and dads. It's actually quite a complicated category to invest in. It can be difficult to understand the underlying covenants or the underlying legal structures involved in hybrids. But this fund allows you to get exposure to an actively managed or professionally managed portfolio of hybrids in a single trade. It's actually outperformed its index quite handily, and it gives you exposure in a single trade to a well-managed, diversified portfolio of hybrids, and that's HBRD on the ASX. The fourth one is one that I'll come to, which is the A200. So this is our most recently launched fund in the Australian equity space. A200 is because it tracks the largest 200 companies listed on the stock exchange, so a really broad exposure that a lot of investors will be looking for. And that is the one that, as I mentioned before, only costs 7 basis points. So that's $7 for every $10,000 invested per year. So a really cheap, easy way to get exposure in a single trade to the Australian stock market. And the fifth one is X20. So X20, so that's a really interesting fund, particularly for Australian investors. You would know from your own statistics that a lot of your investors would be owning BHP, CBA, Rio Tinto, It's Natural, Telstra. These are the large 20 companies that make up our Australian stock exchange. The beautiful thing about the X20 is that it removes those 20. That's why it's called EX20. So that's 180 stocks, excluding the X20, which is a portfolio diversifier fund. So in a single trade, you get exposure to those particular stocks that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise get access to. And they're really in a sweet spot if you think about it. They're not the largest companies yet, so they've got a long way to grow, but at the same time, they're no longer small or startups. So they give you exposure in a very simple way to that particular theme. And again, the performance on that has been excellent. It's been about 14% over the last 12 months. And it's a nice low-cost fund at 25.25% per year.
Thanks, Ilan. So to find out more information about those 5 and I guess your broader range of ETFs, you've got information on your website. There's a monthly report as well people can subscribe to.
That's right. So all our information, of course, is on betashares.com.au. We also have a weekly newsletter and a variety of other content. So I would definitely encourage your listeners and viewers to sign up.
Thank you so much for talking to us today, Ilan. We really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks a lot.